Hi guys, Ronnie here. If you watch my videos for a while now, then you probably know that I really like testing out different kinds of high-end equipment and mainly wheels. So I have had a fair share of them. But there's one brand that really was missing from my experiences, and I thought it's a big shame. But it's not very common where I live, and it's not so easy to get by. So when I got this offer for a pair of these head time trial wheels, I really wanted to jump on and test them out, because yeah, they're very old, very respected brand, one of the pioneers in wheel aerodynamics, inventors basically of the wide blunted rim shapes that we know today. And yeah, they're not very common. These are actually the first ones that I see and have here. I never saw any head wheels before in the flesh, and to be honest, I really quite like these. Of course, because of the weather, I haven't really been able to ride them yet, but I think they are a good candidate as a brand to be featured in my shop for this season. So what are these and how do they differ from other brands and wheels that I've shown you? Well, these are jet black models. Now it's important to be noted that unlike other brands, Zipp or MV for example, which I already have, had decided to not jump on the carbon clincher bandwagon. And even though these wheels might appear and look perfectly fine as a carbon clinchers, the reality is that these are not even carbon wheels at all, and that's also kind of a first for me. So yeah, what you have here is a standard box section aluminum rim, which has then a carbon fairing or skin bonded over it. Now the idea is that you get the structural safety and no heat related issues, excellent braking from the aluminum rim, and then you also get the same level of aerodynamics because the wind doesn't care if this section is a structural part or is just a skin. And when I say skin, I really mean skin, because on disc it's the same construction and it's actually so thin. When I put this flashlight in there, you can actually see the light coming out. It's so thin. So a bit more of that in a minute, because this disc is also quite different than what I've used before. Apart from the blunt rim shape, Head have also pioneered the use of wider rims to match aerodynamically to the wider tires that are now offered. And it's really apparent in this set of wheels, because they have a humongous internal width of 28 mm, which is the widest basically of any road wheel that I've used. And yeah, that's also true for the disc. And the external width is 28 mm at the widest point on the area section. So this is the Jet 9 black disc. Black obviously means that the brake track is anodized black, but not only that, it also has a special kind of machining, which according to tests is extremely good in both wet and dry conditions. So yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to try it out yet. So yeah, very modern pair of rims, wide blunted shape, basically the pioneers of this design. And as for the aerodynamics, they perform very well in the test as well. So I've seen these in the Bike Radar test as well, you can look it up. And the 60-90 combination performed almost as well as the MV 7.8s. So this pair is of course taller at the front, full disc at the rear, should be very, very fast indeed. Weight-wise, they're a tiny bit heavier because of this construction, but it's only a surprisingly small amount. So this front wheel is around 100 grams heavier than my MV 4.5 front wheel, for example, which is very competitive if you consider the depth. And then the disc is, I think, around 80 grams heavier than my previous Zipp Super 9 carbon clincher disc. So again, very competitive, even though these are not featherweights. One thing to compensate for the weight, and it actually quite surprised me, because, well, to be honest, I've said before that no road wheel that's not designed to be tubeless can be botched to work tubeless. Now I have to admit I've been wrong on this one, and perhaps it's down to the aluminum rim, because I haven't had success with carbon rims in this regard. These are actually set up tubeless, and this is exactly how they arrived at my place. So brand new Corsa Speed tubeless rally tires, set up tubeless with tubeless valves and everything. They hold the pressure well. I've inflated them yesterday to the maximum pressure, and it's, well, I can't really feel any deterioration from that, so perfectly fine to use. So yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, and it also negates the weight penalty a little bit, and also of course adds to the small rolling resistance. Back to the tires themselves. As you can see, these are time trial specific Corsa Speeds, just 23 mil, but I have measured these, and thanks to the huge 21 mil internal, they actually measure up at over 27 millimeters, which is quite a big difference. And if you look at them, they beautifully match the rim as well. So it's pretty much a perfect aero shape right here at the front, and also at the rear. Yeah, so one minor issue, it's just cosmetic, but what could be better is that the front wheel uses a UD skin, so unidirectional carbon fiber. The rear one uses I think it's a 10K weave, something like that, very fine weave. So it's not completely identical, but yeah, at this price, and I got them very, very cheap. They're really high performance wheels, so yeah, not really anything to complain about, just a note. The front wheel also has carbon fiber hub shell, some smooth bearings in there, titanium skewer, pretty sturdy it appears to be. So overall, I really like these wheels. One other feature of the disc I haven't mentioned is, well, I've used 3 discs before. It was the Zipp 900, then the Dash tubular, and then the Super 9. These are all flat discs. Now this one from head is a so-called lenticular disc, so it has kind of a funky shape. On the drive side it's not as apparent, because yeah, it has this like of a standard rim shape, and then it goes flat. But on the non-drive side, it bulges out like a deep section rim would, then goes inside, and then bulges out again. So it's yeah, it's pretty damn wide at the hub. If that's more efficient than a flat disc, we'll see. I have only seen a test for the Stinger disc, which is the tubular version of this wheel, essentially the same shape, and that one was 1 watt slower at 45 k's per hour than the Super 9 clincher. And as we all know by now, clinchers are much better in terms of aerodynamics than the tubular, so this should be just as fast, or perhaps even faster than the Super 9. It's tubeless, so probably faster, and if I recall it correctly, the Zipp didn't have the rim shape so well matched to the tire, or at least not this tire, so the interface should be much better. So we'll see, but potentially I think it's faster than the Super 9. And of course the Super 9 was a very smooth riding disc. This should be even smoother because of course it's a regular spoked wheel inside. As I said, the skin is, particularly in the disc, is super thin, super light, flexible. It's more like a piece of cardboard really, so you have to be careful with it. And if I just tap it like this, I think it will make a whole lot of noise when riding. Even regular full monocoque discs do so. I think this should make a hell of a racket, so definitely you'll know when I'm coming. Yeah, so this, I think, so far is as much detail as I can tell you about these wheels. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks the weather goes warmer, so I will be able to test them out. Now you may have also seen the 2-spokes wheels that I've posted earlier. I also have those, so a part of the reason I got this is to get some kind of reference to test those again, because yeah, I didn't have a disc previously. I've sold the Super 9, and yeah, so this way I have a very good value time trial wheel set to test against the 2-spoke and perhaps have them as a spare. And yeah, generally I'm really happy about these. If you'd like to know more about the other wheels I have used, or the ones I'm still using, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.